wabarakatuh. Come and taste us. What I mean, taste our delicacies. And welcome to Sulu State College Toastmasters Club Division E Area 2. But before that, let me give you first an overview about Sulu State College Toastmaster Club. It was the first and only Toastmasters Club in the province of Sulu. It was started on October 2021. The first club president was Toastmaster Firash Said S. Utatalum, and our current club president is Toastmaster Adawiya Jamasali Alibasa. All members are teachers from Sulu State College. So despite being a baby club, we have already a milestone. It was a distinguished club as of June 2021 and participated in the Rookie Showdown on March 20, 2021. It was represented by Toastmaster Adawiya Jamasali Alibasa and gathered 4 champion awards in area contests, namely humorous speech, evaluation speech, prepared speech, and table topics, and represented the Division E during the district speech contest in the humorous speech category, represented by Toastmaster Rania Abdurraouf. So now, before we start, I need to ask you first this question. What comes to your mind when you hear about Sulu? Don't judge the book by its cover. This cliche is sadly applied to Sulu province because of hearsays like the place being dangerous, kidnapping capital of the Philippines, full of terrorism, and the like. These negative impressions even scare others to come and step on the lands of the place. In reality, what they actually miss is the hidden beauty that Sulu offers to the world, like the beautiful beaches, fabulous clothing, culture-enriched performances, its hospitable people, and delicious food. That is why you have to live with the local people of Sulu to replace your misconception with what is true. Just like our delicacies. The picture alone sometimes do not give enough justice to its real taste. You have to experience firsthand the actual deliciousness, creativity, and the culture of Tausug. This leads us to the theme of this table topic session, which is delicacy. So now, I would like to give you a glimpse of why you should visit our province.
Wow. 대박. Amazing.
So now, before going to the question, let me introduce to you the timer and the timing rules. Our timer for this afternoon's table topic session is no other than Toastmaster Aldrin Jikirani. And of course, the timing rules. If you reach 1 minute, timer's virtual background will change into green. And if you reach 1 minute and a half, the virtual background will change into amber. And if you reach 2 minutes, it will change into red. Then if you reach 2 minutes and a half, you will be muted. So now, before we start, let's proceed now to our word of the day. The word of the day is savory. Again, the word of the day is savory. It means pleasing to the sense of taste or smell, especially by reason of effective seasoning. Again, savory, pleasing to the sense of taste or smell, especially by reason of effective seasoning. So examples are, number 1, the savory smells wafting from the kitchen make me want to eat. Number 2, the host provided a savory dinner for us. So I'm encouraging everyone to use that word in your reaction. So now, let us start the amazing race around the Philippines, Table Topics Edition, with question number 1. Our first question is, if you will showcase one delicacy from your place, what would it be and why? Again, I'll repeat the question. If you will showcase one delicacy from your place, what would it be and why? So now I'm calling Toastmaster or Sulu State College Toastmaster Shirami.
Good afternoon, table topic master. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So if I am going to showcase one delicacy from our place, which is Sulu, it would be panyam or something like a brown cake made of rice flour, because it is originated from our province. So when we're going to showcase it to other places, to other provinces in the Philippines, around the Philippines, I would really think that they will love it because it has crispy texture but soft inside, and I would really think that they will love the taste of our panyam. So I I I I just I wanted to show them what panyam is, but I think I couldn't do that. But yes, so my answer is panyam.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shirami.
Back to
So
you,
now
table
let's
topic master.
to question number 2. Question number 2. What is the secret recipe of a delicacy? Again, what is the secret recipe of a delicacy? So now I'm calling Naga Toastmasters Club.
Yes. What is the secret recipe of a delicacy? It is a great question that we really need to ponder when in terms of showcasing our native delicacy. In my culture, which is Bicol, in Naga City, we have the ibos. Ibos is one delicacy that whenever you go to the supermarket, most vendor will showcase to you and they will sell you at least 3 pieces for 10 pesos. So ibos is my favorite delicacy in my native place. Ibos is the mixture of rice, glutinous rice with coconut milk and coconut sugary powder in it, and then you're going to put in the unique leaves, which is called coconut leaves. So this ibos, it represents the way the Bicol culture are getting together, despite in this pandemic. You know, our culture is in the hands of ina, is one way that we represent that we are belong together, we are helping together. That's why despite of many challenges that the Bicol have encountered, we are always rise, because Bicol is one great place that represents the unity, the love to ina, and of course the happiness and the zest in that place. So if you have a chance, visit Bicol and visit Naga.
Thank you, Naga Toastmasters Club. So now let's proceed to question number 3. Question number 3. If you will be sharing your favorite delicacy with someone, with whom would you share it with? Again, if you will be sharing your favorite delicacy with someone, with whom would you share it with? So now I'll be calling Toastmaster or Quezon City Toastmasters Club. Again, Quezon City Toastmasters Club.
That's Jensen. That's Jensen.
Yes, Jensen Toastmasters Club.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. From Jensen Toastmasters Club, we boast the fishing industry in General Santos City. We are the biggest fishing complex in the Philippines, and I believe that the one favorite delicacy that we could always boast of is a tuna kinilaw, or the raw tuna meat from the tuna belly. And if I can share it to someone, I would definitely share it to someone like, or I would share it to someone from Luzon. Perhaps if I see a random person here, like DTM or past district governor Gina Mapua, I would love to share it with her. And you know what happens when you share a food to someone? It's about telling a story of the food. It's telling a story that the tuna industry in Jensen is one to be proud of, especially that it provides livelihood, it provides work, it provides employment to the people in General Santos City. And I think DTM Gina would love to hear stories about people. It's human interest. And I would also love to hear stories from her. That's what happens. Actually, it's not really about exchanging of food or sharing the food. It's about exchanging of stories and knowing the deeper meaning of friendship, and it's bridging the gap between Mindanao and Luzon, and it's giving you an idea that we have something delicious, we have something good in General Santos City, and that's tuna kinilaw. And I would love to have 2 or 3 chili in the tuna kinilaw, and I believe DTM Gina would need more rice if we do so. So Toastmaster Gina, before you go to Sulu, you better stop by General Santos City and let's kinilaw. Back to you, our table topics master.
Yes, I
Thank you.
will. I'll join you.
So now let's proceed to question number 4. So question number 4, if you are a delicacy in your place, what delicacy would you be and why? Again, I will repeat the question. If you are a delicacy in your place, what delicacy would you be and why? Okay, so now I'll be calling Mactan Toastmasters Club.
Hi, good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, go ahead.
Resiliency and innovation. Fellow Toastmaster and friends, if I will become a delicacy, I am from Cebu and I choose hanging rice. If you're familiar with the word puso, we call it hanging rice in English. That it originates in Cebu. It represents not just the food in Cebu, not just the culture of Cebu, not just the heritage of Cebu, but it shows the resiliency and the innovation of the Cebuanos. For your information, my friends, we use puso during wartime because it can survive for the last 4 to 5 days. And we can still eat it. We can use puso on any partner. It could be dinuguan, it could be afritada, and it would be a savory smell. If you have just the hanging rice with you, partner it with asin or partner it with a sauce, and that's enough. And for me, it does not just food. but that shows innovation, resiliency, and how innovative Cebuanos are. Just like me, I started and I experienced the hard part of life. I experienced being a scavenger. I tried working and I was rejected 3 times in the company. I applied again and again and again, but right now I'm now employed and now also getting and moving forward. And that's hanging rights. It's been there before, even during the times before war, even during the pre-Hispanic time. It's been there and it survived until now. The hanging rice does not just represent Cebu's culture and heritage, it represents Cebuans' resiliency, fighting spirit, and independence towards colonialism, at the same time, independence towards the current status quo. We always question the current status quo. That's why we grow and we have this independent mindset. We have this own international brand of airline, the Cebu Pacific, and some foreigners, even international, look at Cebu as an independent country. In fact, Cebu is just part of Cebu province. Cebu is part of the Visayas and the Philippines, but they're looking at us as different. Famous economists say, if you want to invest in the Philippines, start in Cebu. And once Cebuano says it's good, then the rest of the Philippines will follow. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Time Toastmasters Club. So now, let's proceed to question number 5. Okay, question number 5 is, what is your favorite delicacy? Again, what is your favorite delicacy? So now I'm calling Cagayan de Oro Toastmasters Club.
Hi, Toastmaster Al. I'll represent the Cagayan de Oro. Delicacy or food. Filipinos are very well known of being a lover of food. I, for one, I am a Filipino and I have to admit that I am also a food lover. So if you have to ask me what is my favorite delicacy, I think this is one of the hardest question if you are going to ask any Filipino. Let me ask you, ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters and friends, what is your favorite food or what is your favorite delicacy? Me? I could not really choose my favorite delicacy because once I've eaten, I'm the kind of person who's very indecisive in terms of having my favorites. Because when I tasted the food, it becomes my favorite, especially I'm from Cagayan de Oro and our delicacy is sinuglao. It's roasted pork and kinilaw or fish. So it's you combine this two and you have sinuglao. It's a perfect taste and a perfect food. If you come here in the Philippines, you also taste a lot of good food. So for me, it's really hard to choose a favorite delicacy, favorite food, because everything is good here in the Philippines. Same goes to life. It's always hard to make decisions, especially if the decision you're going to choose from is if whether you're being right or being kind. This kind of question is really hard to choose from. But then at the end of the day, you always choose what makes your heart happy. Same as your food. As long as you know what makes your heart happy and your tummy happy, you choose that food, whatever it is, or wherever place, whatever part of the Philippines or the world you are from. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cagayan de Oro Toastmasters Club. So now let's proceed to our number 6 question. Name one delicacy in your place that best describes you as a person. Okay, I'll repeat. Name one delicacy in your place that best describes you as a person. So now, I'll be calling Bohol Toastmasters Club. Again, Bohol Toastmasters Club.
I think there's no Bohol. Hold on for a while.
Okay.
Oh, what was? That's mad crystal. That's. Oh, hold on for a while. You are. Oh my God. By the way, do you have the list?
Yes.
Yeah. There's no bohol in the list. Okay, I will guide you. Hold on for a while. So can you call Alab Toastmasters Club?
Oh, yes. I love Toastmasters Club.
I'm here, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Yes.
Name one delicacy in your place that best describes you as a person. I am now in Manila, but I was born in Iloilo. And one delicacy that I would say best describes me is La Paz, bok choy. Have you tasted one? For those who have tasted, it is so soothing, savory, with lots of ingredients. Just be careful with your uric acid because of the internal organs that is part of it. And yes, it is so delicious. And I agree, yes, TM Rowan, so yummy. But why does it describe me? It is because of all the ingredients that was put in it, that was in it. There are so many, and I would say that me as a person, I am like, they call me a jack of all trades. It is because I may not know that particular task or thing to do, but just give me some time, perhaps a few moments, or even depending on the task, I will be able to do it. For example, just like bok choy with so many ingredients in it, when I was in college, I wanted to play a recorder and I bought one. I learned how to play a recorder in a matter of 1 hour. And with that, I was already playing the recorder during our church service at that time. So fellow Toastmasters and guests, if I am La Paz bok choy as a person, they say a jack of all trades, what would you be? May not be like me, but at least most important thing is you love bok choy. And if you haven't tasted one, I encourage you, try one now. Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you, I love Toastmasters Club. So now let's proceed to question number 7. Or delicacy 7. Okay, so here is the question. If you are to trade a delicacy in your place to other, what would it be and why? Again, I'll repeat the question. If you are to trade a delicacy in your place to other, what would it be and why? Okay, so I'm calling now Kabelen.
By the way,
Kabalen,
it's
Toastmasters
fine.
Club.
Okay, it's fine. Excuse me. I sent you through chat box the list now. So you have to call Pine City and try to look at the chat box. I also
Okay,
set
okay.
it to timer. Okay, thank you. So call first Pine City, Baguio, Ecozone.
Okay, Pine City, Baguio Ecozone Toastmasters Club.
Toastmaster Mercy.
I'm here. Can you hear me? Am I clear?
Yes.
Thank you very much. If I were to trade a delicacy in my place to the other, what would it be and why? I would trade peanut brittle. This savory food is not just a symbol of Baguio, but it is a symbol of resilience, of being tough. Why would it be? I remember during the time when I was in school, and the 1990 earthquake devastated Baguio. That was when I thought the world would end, and I thought it was the end of everything. Baguio was just a ghost town that time. And I felt that there was nothing else. It's just so hopeless. But then, if you would see now, Baguio started to rise from the ashes and now to this wonderful tourism spot. And that would be peanut brittle. Peanut brittle is something that would show you what Baguio is. That it is a strong city with sweet people who would be as welcoming as I am. I would know that today, if I were to trade this one, I would not trade anything else but the peanut brittle. Indeed, peanut brittle is something that you would love to taste because of its sweetness, of its toughness, and at the same time, it is a symbol of resiliency, of strength, and of the welcoming heart of the people. Good evening. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Baguio and Luzon Toastmasters Club. So now let's proceed to question number 8, or delicacy 8. So I have here tula itum. Tula itum is a black soup, or is a tausug delicacy that is very common during tausug weddings and other special occasions. The beef soup is sprinkled with burnt coconut meat. That is why its color black. So the question is, do you have an equivalent beef recipe in your place that is served during special occasions? Tell us something about it. Again, I'll repeat. Tula itum is a black soup, or is a tausug delicacy that is very common during tausug weddings and other special occasions. The beef soup is sprinkled with burnt coconut meat. That is why its color black. Do you have an equivalent beef recipe in your place that is served during special occasions? Tell us something about it. Okay? So, financial planners, Toastmasters Club.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. I think I've tried at least once this black soup. As you can see, I am from Mindanao and I'm used to some Muslim delicacy. And I could really remember that burnt coconut flavor that makes it savory when you try a beef soup at a different level. So I could say that I would really like actually to know the recipe of this soup. I would like to try it for myself. If there is an equivalent beef recipe, then I would probably say we're used to cooking beef or chicken in binagol, right? It's still coconut. And because in Mindanao, we have a lot of coconut, and coconut is the thing that people really use in different dishes. So, given the chance, I would really like to know the recipe of this black soup and have it prepared for my family. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Financial Planner Toastmasters Club. I'll send to you the recipe of tila itum.
Yes, thank you.
So let's proceed now to question 9. I have here a daral. Daral is a tausug sweet delicacy in which the sweetened coconut meat is wrapped with a thin dough made of flour. Again, what is your impression with this food? I'll repeat the question. Daral is a tausug sweet delicacy in which The sweetened coconut meat is wrapped with a thin dough made of flour. What is your impression with this food? So now, I'll be calling First Farmers Toastmasters Club.
Sorry, my dogs are barking. But what a coincidence. Oh, this food is so amazing. It's a wonderful, wonderful sweet dessert. And I would say that this is on the equivalent level of world food in terms of crepes. This is basically a crepe, but a crepe that is, as far as I'm concerned, much better than anything that the French cuisine could come up. So imagine this. This is coconut that's been very finely grated, and it's not the copra type or the kind that's old enough to be made into coconut milk, but rather this is the in between that they call lucadon, that level. It's not buko either, and it's sweetened in a syrup or with the brown sugar, and then you make a crepe, and then you wrap it, and then you eat it. And the version I cook, because I have cooked this, it's so delicious. The version I cook, I put pandan. I blitz pandan leaves in a blender and extract the juice and use that to moisten the flour for making the crepes, which adds another dimension into this dish. This is an amazing dish which everyone should have a chance to taste, because this is part of our culture. This is part of the Philippines. And so everybody, I urge you, it's a very easy recipe to do. I'll gladly share it with all of you so that you can all cook your own daral. Daral is the best. Yum, yum. Good afternoon.
Thank you, First Farmers Toastmasters Club. So now let's proceed to question number 10. I have here a juwalan. Juwalan is a tausug sweet delicacy. It is a fried banana. It is usually paired with coconut syrup.
Wow.
It is served with coffee. In your place, what do you usually eat as a pair to your morning or afternoon coffee sessions? Again, I have here a juwalan. Juwalan is a tausug sweet delicacy. It is a fried banana. It is usually paired with coconut syrup. It is best served with coffee. So, in your place, what do you usually eat as a pair to your morning or afternoon session or afternoon coffee sessions? I'll be calling now Kabilan San Fernandino Toastmasters Club.
Good afternoon,
Again, Kabilan San.
Good afternoon, everyone. As the saying goes, walang matigas na tinapay sa mainit na kape. There is none a hard bread between a hot coffee. Well, basically, we as Filipinos are fond of drinking coffee in the morning, in the afternoon, even in the night. We're supposed to be coffees are for to make us awake. But sometimes we also use coffee or drink coffee, but decaffeinated. But as far as the topic is concerned, me, myself personally, drink coffee. But unlike others, I also have this pair of something to eat to partner with my coffee. When I was a child, I was used to or exposed in drinking coffee while eating bread. Because they say that in eating, there must be a panulak. At the same time, there must be a pambara. For me, bread is something that pairs with coffee. Specifically, I use what we call on pan de limon and this another type of bread which is called kababayan. It may be common for some of us, especially Especially it's not a different delicacy, but the savory flavors of mixing with this bread while pouring down or tapping those bread to the coffee satisfies my morning, afternoon, and evening. But eating a common food with drinking a coffee which is common, what makes it different? What makes it special? Because this manner of drinking and eating makes it a different experience because first it satisfies our hunger, our thirst, and longingness to start our day and to finish our night. What matters most is that when we eat or drink, we savor the moment. We savor the moment of realizing that we need to begin the day or we enjoy the whole day and end it with a good night. Back to you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Kabilan San Fernandino Toastmasters Club. So now we are in question number 11. Again, question number 11. This question is very simple. What food can you cook well? Again, what food can you cook well? So now I'll be calling the Timex Toastmasters Club.
Hello.
Hi.
What food can I cook well? I have this very specific recipe and I love it very much. First of all, I would like to say that it is a very common recipe and it's one of the recipe that you will find in every occasion. May it be a simple birthday celebration or a debut or a wedding or something to have fun and to be able to gather with. Fellow Toastmasters, this is pancit. You would know that if there is a celebration, there is pancit for long life. And we also know that pancit is there not as the main dish, but just of a side dish. Meaning if there are no other recipe or viand there, you will have to go with pancit because every time it's the only recipe that's left on the table. Would you agree? When my mother's birthday came 2019, I hurried and researched and took notes of my favorite pancit recipe. Guess what? I cooked it with love. I gathered all the recipes together. And guess what? It's the first viand that has been over on the table. It's the first viand that is finished. Fellow Toastmasters, choose one recipe, share it with your friends, your family, your relatives, and it will be a good gathering. This is what makes a recipe important. You don't only pour out the ingredients, you don't only pour out your experience with it, but you also pour it with love and more and lots of love. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmasters, our Timex Toastmasters Club. So now let's proceed to question number 12. The question is, what native delicacy is very unforgettable to you and why? Again, what native delicacy is very unforgettable to you and why? So now I'll be calling the Speakers Lounge Toastmasters Club. Again?
Okay, yes, I'm here. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, Okay, so what native delicacy is very unforgettable to you and why? For me, I have never been to other places except my country, but I really love to taste other countries' cuisine and their native delicacy. So one of the one of the thing is like Chinese delicacy. It is I have tasted in my friend's house. It is it's so simple. It is just shell noodle, but we always have once or twice in a month with my friends at their house that shell noodle. It became my favorite delicacy, their native delicacy, because as we all know, the Chinese are really great and good at cooking and making delicious food. So it was became a native delicacy for me. I cannot unforgettable. I usually eat with them and once or in a month or twice. But the most unforgettable day is I ate it in our festival at their house and with a lot of people, with my family and with their family, and it is really lovable to eat with our family, sharing our favorite unforgettable food or something with our beloved people. So that became my native delicacy. Thank you. Back to you, Topic Master.
Thank you, the Speakers Lounge Toastmasters Club. So now let's proceed to question number 13. Question number 13. What is your impression when someone brings you sweet delicacies from his or her travels instead of souvenir items? Again, what is your impression when someone brings you sweet delicacies from his or her travels instead of souvenir items? Now I'll be calling Awesome Toastmasters Club.
Hi, this is Abhishek here from Awesome. I hope you can hear me and you can see me and you can hear my mom also. All right, thank you so much. Well, I have to tell you, the first time that I ever had right? Or the first time I ever had a cheesecake was in Philippines. But today, I have something for you. A plate full of sweets from India. So you can see the different flavors that it brings. And amidst this is my favorite sweet delicacy, which a friend got me, and that's known as a puff pastry, a pamay, which I love. And guess what? Where do you get it? SNR, diba? You don't have to go too far. Hindi sa malayo na papunta, right? My little bit Tagalog may not be very disturbing, I hope. But at the same time, I have to thank this friend who brought this for me amidst COVID, remembering that I had completed 15 years at work, and this friend in the rain came and gave this to me. So all these sweets from India are one side, but this, my favorite friendship tag, is the most special and critical for me to savor. This is not savory, this is not too sweet, this is just right, like the friendship that we have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Awesome Toastmasters Club. So now let's proceed to question number 14. Which do you prepare to bring home from your travels? Sweet delicacies or souvenir items? Again, which do you prepare to bring home from your travels? Sweet delicacies or souvenir items? So now I'll be calling Real Page or Primer Business and Professional Toastmasters Club.
I'm here.
If you're going to ask me, which would I prefer? To bring home a souvenir item or a delicacy? I would choose a delicacy because when you got a delicacy, it's like bringing the person to the place you went. It's giving a glimpse of where you came from, their culture, their tradition, the scenic view, the beauty of its place, everything that you eat. It's like reminiscing the place you were in. My fellow Toastmasters and friends, how about you? What would you choose? I would always choose a delicacy because it represents the people on that place, the culture they are showing. I will let you also taste the vegan longanisa here in our place because a longanisa represents how patient it is undergo. First, you have to grind the meat into pieces, and then you're going to put it inside the intestine. And after that, you're going to bind it and put it under the sun so that it will be dried until morning, until in the afternoon. So a delicacy is a thing that is being done out of love and passion. So when someone gives you a delicacy wherever he goes or came from, you should always receive it because you will never know how those people from that place took time, effort, and put love on that thing. So never ever waste a food because it is made out of love. So how about you, fellow Toastmasters and friends? What delicacies would you take? Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Real Page Toastmasters Club. So now let's proceed to question number 15. I have here a lara-lara. Lara-lara is a sweet delicacy in Sulu. It comes in chili shapes and different colors. I have here red, green, orange. It is a deep fried dough which is coated with sugar. It is in varied colors to symbolize celebrations. In your place, do you also have a colorful food to symbolize celebrations? Again, I'll repeat the question. I have here a lara-lara. Lara-lara is a sweet delicacy in Sulu. It comes in chili shape and different colors. It is a deep fried dough which is coated with sugar. It is varied colors to symbolize celebrations. In your place, do you also have a colorful food to symbolize celebrations? Again, I'll be calling Toastmaster or Pikpa Cebu Toastmasters Club.
Hello, can I be heard?
Yeah.
Awesome. Have you ever wondered how we store memories in our mind? My dear fellow Toastmasters, unique experiences, tastes, and also visuals actually help our mind to retain certain memories in our mind. You see, colors actually brings a unique visual and shared it with a unique experience, a celebration. It will surely be etched in your mind. And with a savor such as this food, Lara Lara, I can only imagine the closest that I can imagine to this are actually donuts. And this is something that may not necessarily be a Filipino delicacy, but added with Filipino touch, adding Filipino peanuts, for example, adding Filipino chocolates, that makes it a unique Filipino delicacy still. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the food. It's not just about the people. It's about a combination of these colorful personalities, food, savors that will make us remember things. And so I invite you, my fellow Toastmaster, to think of an experience when you've really said that you were happy, that you were very touched by a certain event. And I encourage you to think what makes it unique? What made you remember those things? Because I tell you, it is those people, it is the colors of those food, the savor that you will immediately remember. And so, as a parting words, always, always go for celebration, always be present, because you will never know that that memory will last forever. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
I'm sorry. Okay, thank you, Pikpa Cebu, our Toastmasters. Pikpa Cebu Toastmasters Club. I'm sorry. So now, let's proceed to question 16. I have here a putli mandi. Putli mandi. Putli mandi is another delicacy in Sulu province. It is a violet steamed rice flour. It is filled with sweetened coconut meat. With the outer has a raw coconut meat as its core. As you observe, this delicacy use coconut meat as its main ingredients. Do you have similar sweet food in your place that is dominantly use coconut meat? Again, putli mandi is another delicacy in Sulu province. It is violet steamed flour. It is filled with sweetened coconut meat. With the outer has raw coconut meat as its core. As you observe, this delicacy uses coconut meat as its main ingredients. Do you have similar sweet food in your place that dominantly use coconut meat? So I'll be calling now the MAD or Crystal Malaysia Toastmasters Club. Again, MAD Crystal Malaysia Toastmasters Club.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. So when you think about coconut meat, we may not have exactly as putli mandi. But what we have, so Malaysia is a place where coconut is in abundance. I have seen coconut in so many foods, but there is one thing which we do, which is one of the most common delicacies in Malaysia. It's called beef rendang. Beef made with coconut milk. It's one of the things which is celebrated when we celebrate Hari Raya or Eid festival. It's cooked in coconut meat and savored with different flavors and this thing, and that's one of the best things. Why? Because it makes the event, the festival, unique and special. I remember in those times where we could step out of the house and visit families and friends, people would go out to try that within their friends and family. That's the thing people look forward to it, the beef rendang. And there are many other things added with coconut milk, which makes nasi lemak, and a lot of other things, when this combination. Now, when we think about that, is it that coconut and the milk is important? Maybe not. I think one of the most important elements here is the people who surround the food. The reason we gather around the food. It's what is it? What is it that brings us together? It may be the food which brings us together. It may be those great foods with coconut, with delicacies, with the meat, with the randa, which makes it a unique experience. But the most important thing is that the conversations we have around the food, the people who sit around the food, the things we talk, because end of the day, it's not the food, it's just the flavor. It's great because those conversations are the real meat, and the food served in front of us are just the flavors to those conversations. In these times of pandemic, we miss those conversations. We miss getting and seeing face to face and serving those foods. We miss those times where we connect as human beings, a right to be with one another that we value, we love to do. So fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, we do love the rendans being cooked. Could be chicken, could be beef, could be different things. But the most important thing is, as we eat that together, we not only share a meal, we share friendship, we share families, we share the love, and most importantly, it binds us together. It connects us together. It reminds of two things. It reminds of diversity we have in Malaysia, of the race, the religion, and the culture. It reminds us of where we come from, but it also reminds us who we are. End of the day, we are reminded, whoever you are a global citizen. And that's what really matters. The people around the food. Back to you.
Thank you, Viva Sugbo, Cebu sa our. Thank you, Mad Crystal, Malaysia Toastmasters Club.
Okay.
So now I am,
Table topic master, you have 2 more questions to go. 2 more questions. So we have Viva Sugbo and Metro Manila.
Yes, po. Okay, let's proceed now to question 17. Question 17. What tausug delicacy would you like to try and why? So I have here the choices. First, our first choice is daral. I know, the first one is here. Tiula itum, or the black soup that you saw earlier. Next, letter B, we have daral. And letter C, dilara-lara. Okay, again, what tausug delicacy would you like to try and why? A, tiula itum. B, daral. C, lara-lara. Okay, so I'll be calling now Viva Sugbo, Cebu South Toastmasters Club.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, if I would choose among these 3, I would choose daral. If I can remember, this is the delicacy with mostly the coconut meat, if I'm not mistaken. Now, why? Here in Cebu, we have this coconut pie, which is mostly made of coconut meat. And we used to taste this when we go Cebu South. That's the southern part of Cebu, where we can find the most beautiful beaches and the most astounding waterfalls. An example of these are the Kawasan Falls, and the beaches are in Mualboal and also in Oslob, where you can also do the whale shark diving. And these are the attractions that I really love to do. And every time I would have free time, I would go to the south. 2 or 3 hour drive would be fine, as long as I will be reaching these destinations and I would be rejuvenated, and in just a day or 2 I will be stress free. And all of us, I know that we are under this pandemic and we are restricted to go and visit the places that we love to visit. But if once we are given an opportunity, or once we have an opportunity to visit these places, I suggest that we should go, and so that our spirits or our selves will be refreshed. Back to you, Toastmaster. Table topics, Master.
Viva Cebu South Toastmasters Club. I think this is the last question. Or the last question. Was there a food you were excited to taste but disappointed you? Tell us about it. Again, was there a food you were excited to taste but disappointed you? Tell us about it. Okay, Metro Manila Toastmasters Club.
Who here in this room has the strength and courage to say that they do not like rice? Can I see some reactions? Exactly. I feel like for most people, they love rice, especially for Filipinos, and we cannot live without it. I remember back in 2018, I was traveling to New York for a competition. And as a Filipino, I believe that all of us here loves rice and we cannot live without it. So for days or even for weeks, I was eating pizza and nuggets and fries all throughout the competition because that is the only thing that's available in New York. And during the competition, I was really hungry and I was waiting for my chance to taste rice once again. And so I went down because everyone was talking about halal guys. It was a food station that was similar to the Philippines. It has chicken and it has rice on it. But as I went down and I went to the cart and purchased it with $6, I went back up to my room, got it and eaten it. It was a handful for myself. And it didn't taste the same. It tasted stale and it tasted bland. And I was wondering, was it because the Filipinos were just born creative and adaptive in terms of their food? I believe that in our Filipino culture, we're really up to creating different types of delicacies that our own viand will withstand the taste of rice and it will balance out the blandness of rice. But for other countries, it wasn't the same. And this is what I believe that makes the Philippines stand out. In terms of our delicacies and our cultural heritage, we have our natural adaptation and natural creativity for it. We have our own version that's uniquely ours. And so to you, my fellow Toastmasters and guests, whenever you go outside, whenever you go out to another country, stand high and stand proud. Whenever you represent your country, think of our unique delicacies, our tasty and savory food that we have, especially our viand. Think of our cultural heritage and what it holds in terms of the cultural richness of our country. And so to you, my fellow Toastmasters and guests, if I were to ask you, have you ever eaten a food here in the Philippines that has ever disappointed you? I guess not, and I believe not. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Okay. By the way,
so much,
Master, can you ask the last one, the city of Angeles, because they are so eager to know more about Sulu. So you can ask the last question. You still have last question, right? Give it to city of Angeles. There.
Yes. Before that, I would like to say again, thank you to Toastmaster Gianna. I am your follower in TikTok. So let's proceed now to question number 19. If you would create a new delicacy, what will be its name? Again, if you would create a new delicacy, what will be its name? Angeles Toastmasters Club.
Yes.
Again, Angeles Toastmasters Club.
Yes. Hello. Hello.
You're audible now. You're audible.
There was a saying, you are what you eat. To create a new delicacy, it needs something to be authentic, unique. Just like here, we are all authentic and unique. Do you agree? A delightful afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. There was a session in our training classes where a task was given to us. The task was to bring any object or item available outside or nearby the area within 5 minutes. What object? An object that represents you the best. An object that you can relate yourself to, and we had to speak about it with that object in our hand. I ran out. The first thing I saw was a tea counter, and over there was a bowl of sugar. The very second I filled my hand with sugar and ran back to the class. I could have found something else, but knowing that I had a very limited time, I knew this is the very best food item I can relate to and explain was. So the trainer asked me, "What did you bring?" I opened my hand. I said, "It was white sugar." I resemble sugar the most. Like a delicacy, it is very important, sugar. It's because all of my life, one constant compliment that has never left my side is people telling me that I am super sweet. Also, I adjust according to situations. Just like sugar mixed up, I am very adaptable to changing circumstances. Like sugar brings taste to the food or drink, I bring happiness to the lives of my friends. Like sugar loses individuality and goes unnoticed. Sometimes this happens to me too. Like we underestimate the qualities of sugar. Still, I do my job. I am sweet as a sugar. So the delicacy, it's Super G sweet sugar. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, City of Angeles Toastmasters Club. I think that's a wrap. But I still have one question.
Okay, let's go to the next now. You can have your final statement and give the floor to Jinsan.
Okay. So food is what makes us more connected with one another. And we should always be proud, promote, preserve, and we should not forget it. Like our delicacies, because it reflects our culture, tradition, and identity. I give now the virtual floor to Jan Santos Masters Club, Magsukol.